Well, we welcome you live to this semi-final, and let me tell you that Marcelo Rios is already off to a flyer. He's won the first 2 games and leads 30-love on his own serve in the third. And you can see just a few unforced errors in these early exchanges from Kuerten. Well, I'm David Mercer. Fru McMillan's been alongside me. And Rios won his opening service game to 15, but then a very long game. How many break points before he broke?
Well, he had 4 before he broke. In other words, he broke on his 5th. It's backfired a little for Kuerten because he won the spin of the coin and elected to receive, but didn't make any inroads in the initial Rios service game. Won just the 1 point, and then a mixture of good play by Rios, who's up for it, obviously, and bad serving by Kuerten. Only able to get out of some of those early break points because of good serves, has led to Rios taking this flyer at the start.
So after just 12 minutes of play, Marcelo Rios, the world number 3, the number 3 seed here, but I think most people's favourite is off to a 3-love lead. Now let me tell you that this is the second semi-final. The first one between Albert Costa and Alberto Berasategui was a magnificent match, full of the most sensational rallies, really grueling exchanges. Obviously we're not going to tell you who won it because we've been commentating on it and recorded it, and we'll be showing you it after the conclusion of this match. And I know I get letters from you saying, well, why didn't you show it? The simple answer is we're not allowed to for contractual reasons, and that's why we can't bring you the final here live tomorrow. But it will be, we will again be recording it and bringing it to you at 7:30 tomorrow night UK time. That's 8:30 Central European time. And you know, don't go away at the end of this match, because Costa and Berasategui is pretty special.
I think it's very unfair on our viewers, really. I think we should really tell them that a Spaniard has won.
Yeah, all right. We'll let that secret out for him. And that he's going to play a South American.
Yeah.
So let's settle down. Let's hope the Kuerten can settle down. Love 3. These two have never played in senior play. Played a few times in juniors, and Rios won 3 out of 3.
Yes, and there's certain signs here that Kuerten remembers that very well, and Rios too, by the way, because almost had the feeling in the last game that Rios was beginning to toy with him a little bit.
Second ace.
Much of the traffic has been crossed to the Kuerten backhand side, which isn't a bad thing, I feel, because Kuerten has a good backhand, very good into-out forehand, but of course the problem is that it's coming from Rios' strength. Not that there's anything too wrong with that double-handed backhand of late. It's a much improved shot in 98.
So a point for a 4-love lead here for Marcelo Rios. No, he's missed it. Talking last night to Larry Stefanki, coach of Marcelo Rios, after he had beaten Richard Krajicek, and he is absolutely thrilled with the way his man is playing at the moment and how he's regained his form so quickly after the injury layoff. Second ace from Rios.
Yes, when Rios won the Super Series event in Monte Carlo last year, the man, and he was almost unrecognized then, who warmed him up was one Gustavo Kuerten, who not many weeks later, of course, went on to win the French. I was just wondering, if their careers, say, had to stop now, who would you rather be? I think I'd rather be Kuerten with a French title behind me than Rios with a #1 ranking behind me.
Yep, I'd go along with that. Not that I've ever moved in that sort of company.
Well, we can but dream.
Well, you've got a lot of Grand Slam doubles titles and mixed titles to your credit.
There's the strength of that backhand, of course, which is a vital stroke against the left-handers. This year, Kuerten hasn't lost to one. He's beaten 5 of them. Carlsen, Woodford, Clavet, Arazi, even Isovic, taken them all on and sent them home.
But at the moment, no signs of him sending Marcelo Rios home. 18 minutes gone. 5-love to Marcelo Rios. Gustavo Kuerten has started the 6th game with this 3rd ace. And a second serve onto the line there. Crowd trying to lift the French Open champion, who's playing in the Italian Open for the first time. Rios here for the 4th time, runner-up last year to Kuerten.
Difficult to gauge Kuerten's form, of course. Against Vicente, played in horrible conditions, really. And you always figured that whoever got on top in that match would stay on top. Winning the first set 6-3 did just that.
Just so inconsistent out there at the moment, Gustavo Kuerten. Some great shots, some rag-awful ones. And here we are, set point. Dear me. And whereas Kuerten's being inconsistent, Rios this week has been Mr. Consistency. That's just terrific. 6-love, opening set.
And showing really from the very start, from that opening game, a tremendous appetite for the game. No early nerves apparent.
Only his 5th double fault of the tournament.
It's been a feature of his play. I remember in Indian Wells and in Key Biscayne, he served very few doubles and used his serve so advantageously.
Well, as always, everyone back home in Chile will be glued to this, being shown live. Every match he plays is shown live on Chilean TV. They just clear the networks.
Well, in winning the French last year, he had to beat Muster, the only left-hander he faced en route. 6-4 in the 5th, he beat him.
Well, that's a lovely shot. There just haven't been enough of them.
Yes, I think the best point really that Kuerten has played, getting the angle here and eventually finding some space for his backhand.
Kuerten having no answer there. Rios able to vary his tactics. Lovely solid serve and volley. 6-love, 1-love. Well, the court has been freshly swept, and Gustavo Kuerten's got to have a fresh start as well, having lost the opening 7 games of this semi-final.
Yes, there wasn't exactly much wear and tear on it, but it was traditional to do the court at the end of a set, and if that's an even game, then the first change of ends after a set. A match which I think raises a tremendous amount of interest, not only because of the South American context, but here's the French Open winner of last year against a man who many people really are now expecting to win it this year.
Yeah, I know I'm firmly in that category. Fru, are you?
Well, there's certainly no hotter player than Rios, and he's shown that he can make the transition from the hard courts to clay, which after all was his breeding ground in the game. And I wouldn't have thought dissimilar to this. Santiago, I know I've played there, it's altitude, the courts are dry. The weather's hot, and you can just stroke the ball as effortlessly as that and keep the ball in. I don't think Brazil's very different either, of course. Florianopolis, where Kuerten hails from, also have a lot of clay courts, warm weather. So they should both be well suited to this.
A 4th ace. Just wide. Or was it? Kuerten's having a good look. He's found a mark, but he doesn't know. Steve Ulrich's down off his chair. He says it's good. Now, is he going to give the point to Rios? He is. Kuerten's accepted that it goes to Rios. 40-30.
Well, that's just a measure of how well Rios is playing, because that really wasn't a bad serve at all from Kuerten. Slap back right at him. Very different from his returning against Krajicek, but of course it was very different serving. He won just 3 points and lost 35 of the first serve points of Krajicek.
Fifth ace and a huge roar as Gustavo Kuerten acknowledges the crowd, lifts his arms as if to say, hey, I've won a game here, boys.
The tie went, well, he's not ahead, is he?
Such a popular character. He's such a nice, unassuming, charming young man.
That's a shot that really hasn't often worked for him in the last few weeks. Ascending form, he's been improving each week as Kuerten. Which probably means he'll be about just right for the play at Roland Garros.
Well, Kuerten's now going to have a look at the mark. He won't get it changed, of course, and doesn't make an issue of it. Well, taking the ball so early there, Kuerten.
Yes, and it hasn't reached the desperate stage yet, but no harm in trying something a little different.
Kuerten getting nowhere near breaking the Rios serve. Rios leads by 2 games to 1 and by set to love. Kuerten serving 1-2, second set. Well, you were away, huge chance of Guga, Gustavo's nickname, all around the court.
Well, when Rios won the tournament in Key Biscayne, during that tournament, Pete Sampras had beaten Wayne Ferreira 6-love in the first set, and the adage is, don't beat a good player by 6-love, unless it's the last set.
Well, Kuerten has stopped. He feels he's found the mark. Steve Ulrich isn't convinced, so he's down. The baseline judge is also down. and the decision is that it was out. Yes, of course, Wayne Ferreira came back to beat Pete Sampras from losing the first set 6-love. Unfortunately, Tim Henman didn't have a chance to, coming back to losing the last set 6-love against Rios in the semis. Yep. Total surprise there. And something for the Brazilian fans to at last cheer.
Yes, using the serve out to Rios' two-handed size, and of course if he can't get to the two, he'll stretch with the one. But it's the opening created by the serve to that wing that enables him to play that drop shot. Krajcek served really well out wide to Rios' two-hander. Held him, of course, to a tiebreaker in the first set. Two set points he had in that tiebreaker to the Dutchman.
Yeah, both in fairness on the Rios serve. Krajcek also saving two set points before Rios took advantage of a third. Eventually winning the tiebreak by 11 points to 9. My word. A top edge for 6. Well, not quite. One bounce, 4. Third ace.
It's a terrific facility to move the ball around on the serve.
Two opposite extremes. Rios leads by 3 games to 2 second set, and by set to love. Gustavo Kuerten, at least he's clinging on in this second set. 2-3, we're on serve, no break points in it so far. Six ace, 187.
Well, that aborted toss-up of Kuerten's is worth bearing in mind, because the difference, of course, between him and Krajcek is that Krajcek is just that much more solid on the serve. Kuerten's got the power, he's got the height, but he tends to be a bit all over the place at times. Otherwise, of course, the pressure on Rios could be so much more intense.
Yes, just seems to have got into a nice rhythm at the moment. The question is, how long can he maintain it? We have a pair of love games again.
We certainly do. First of the match, the first pair, brace. Rios against Krajcek was never down break point, only the one deuce, in fact, in the match on his serve. Beginning to rival Agassi for this drive volley.
Only a 7th unforced error of the entire match from Rios. 24 so far from his opponent. Well, a huge roar because there's been a huge roar from the Olympic Stadium, which is not too far away, the locals where the two football teams, Lazio and Roma, play. I'm not sure which one is at home today, but I guess they've just scored.
Long, I think. Oh, Rios thought it was long.
The second one certainly was. Another line splitter from Rios. He leads 4-3 second set. Three, 4 second set. Quite an atmosphere building up in the crowd now. Oh, you can't hit shots like that against Rios in the last change of ends. Some of the Chilean fans trying to start a chant, getting jeered down. And the chants of Guga ringing out. He's certainly got the Italians with him as the Brazilian.
What a strangely wasteful shot by Rios.
And an eighth ace.
Which is just about his average per match for last year, 8.6 aces a match.
Yes, some strange errors there from Rios. Very seldom do you see him lose concentration, but you sense he did there.
Yes, very seldom these days. Such a different player. And Kuerten, to me, is not as fluent as on that backhand side, but having salvaged 4 games in this set will obviously help him a tremendous amount. Seems to be playing the ball just a little late on the backhand. Of course, that's a real disadvantage against the left-hander.
Oh, my word. Well, now Kuerten's got to take advantage of this sudden hesitancy about Rios. That is not the way to do it.
It's almost as if Kuerten has brought Rios down to his level.
It's much more like it from Rios.
Yes, the problem for Kuerten, of course, no confidence in that backhand side, just happy to get it in, but so slow. Just the one deuce against Krajcek and not a deuce on the Rios serve against Kuerten.
No, it hasn't played like a French Open champion today, Gustavo Kuerten. Now he's going to have to come out and serve to stay in the match. 4-5.
It could be just the very different conditions from his match against Vicente of Spain, because against Tommy Haas in the preceding match he played really well, did Kuerten, hitting the ball hard, and as hard as Haas hit it, Kuerten was seemingly able to hit it even harder and yet control it. Yesterday was wet and they played right through the drizzle, and fairly constant and hard drizzle it was too. And it's almost as if the feel that he developed then was a feeling for slower courts, wetter courts. Today he really hasn't had feel from the word go.
Reminder, we'll have the other semi-final between Alberto Berasategui and Albert Costa shortly after this one. And let me again tell you, it was a cracker. Four, 5, second set. Well, that's one of the reasons why he's hanging on in there in the second set. 9 aces now, 6 of them in this set. A win here would be Rios' 31st of the year, which would be more than anybody else on the tour. Andre Agassi and he tied at the moment with 30 wins. Rios has lost just 4.
Well, I like the thinking behind the big forehand. Didn't play it perhaps all that smoothly, but the end result was what he wanted. No! It's been a bit too much dictating of the ground line game by Rios.
Second love service game for Kuerten, and we're tied at 5 in the second set. New balls being brought out.
Hot, of course, hard courts, not a lot of sand on them, therefore playing pretty quick. The balls are fast, particularly these new ones.
Yeah, it's not as hot as earlier in the week. In fact, it's a little bit of a cooling breeze, which is very pleasant, but still very quick conditions.
balls sliding off the line, even though it was only hit at 134 kilometers an hour. It would have seemed a lot faster to Kuerten, not being able to adjust in time.
Oh, great anticipation, great stretching.
Yes, that's exactly right. Kuerten seemed to have this .1. I thought a terrific idea to drop shot because the ground strokes are not really all that sound, and he seemed to have Rios here. But for this man's adaptability and that anticipation.
And any close call that goes against Kuerten is not to the pleasure of the crowd. Rios moves ahead once again on serve in the second set, 6-5. For a second time, Gustavo Kuerten serving to stay in the match. Trying to force a second set tiebreak.
Well, he's lost his brilliance, there's no doubt about it. Big opportunity on the second serve there. He's won 58% points off the opponent's second serves this year. One of the best records.
Great stuff.
You might ask, well, who's better than he is? Alberto Berasategui. Same percentage, but just played more tennis.
Steve Ulrich confirming it was long, so is Marcelo Rios.
Yeah, she's one of these linesperson who sits back in her chair as if she's in an armchair about to fall off to sleep, but she calls them right.
Yeah, they often say get down low. You can see along the line then. He used to lean right forward. She leans right back. Oh, again, he was there, he was anticipating, and it's match point.
Well, it's a brilliant bit of phasing by Rios. He didn't play a good stop volley, but he reads the game so well.
Well, a sad end for Gustavo Kuerten. Sad start. At least he lived with Rios in the second set. Otherwise it could have been very embarrassing. But there's no doubt who's the best player in South America at the moment. And frankly, I have little doubt who the best player in the world is at the moment.
Yes, he really looked at ease from the word go, Rios, as if remembering the 3 times he beat Kuerten as a junior. Rios 3 in the world, Kuerten 9 in the world, 2 South Americans in the top 10. Kuerten never really seemed to have it together today, and but for his serving in that second set, I think Rios would have been out of here, well, 15, 20 minutes ago.
Right, now that Heinz Gunther is down there with Marcelo Rios.
Well, Marcelo, congratulations on another very good match. I personally haven't seen you hit the forehand better than you hit in the first set.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good, like I said yesterday. I think after the match yesterday, I was feeling my forehand much better, and I think the cross court, like in the second serve, going way back and tried to hit it like an angle. I think that was the play today, and I felt much better.
Well, you obviously played well the last few years, but it seems like you reached another level. What do you think happened? Is it physically? Is it just mentally?
Well, I think I'm more like, you get more mature and you sort of like play much better the game, and you know more what's going on. And I think when you say that you can win the matches and you play good, I think, like I said, I'm tough to beat, but I think I'm playing pretty good, and that's the key.
Well, I'm thinking you're playing very good. Thank you very much, and best of luck for tomorrow.
So Marcelo Rios through. Those the statistics. And just 14 unforced errors. He gives very few points away, Rios, even though perhaps by his standards in the second set he wasn't playing his best. But it's Marcelo Rios into the final for a second successive year. Remember, last year he lost to Alex Kuerten. Well, again, he'll play a Spaniard. But will it be Albert Costa or Alberto Berasategui? Join us again after the break to find out.